All right, I plead for your indulgence just a touch. I'm going to I'm going to try not to ramble on for too long, but I do want to talk about something that I think is important to talk about. Um, and as I do with these kinds of videos, I'm working out my thoughts as I'm speaking. So you're hearing me think out loud, more or less. If that doesn't appeal to you, then don't watch this video. If it turns out that this video is a bit on the longer side, then put it on 1.5. I'm aware that I talk slow and I'm a deliberative speaker, sometimes stammering, sometimes incoherent or whatever, sometimes prone to taking pregnant pauses. I get how that can be annoying. So if it annoys you, but you still want to watch it, then put it on 1.5 or 1.75 or whatever, or two even if I'm really talking slow. I want to know if there's a way of avoiding this train wreck that we seem to be headed for. I just really want to know that. Because things aren't looking good right now. And I don't see the way out. And it's disturbing. It's something that I can't just disassociate from. Or I haven't found a way to disassociate from it yet. Maybe there is a way to do it, but I haven't found it yet. I talked about a few days ago. I recorded a video where I just talked about how I had been without power for a week here in Savannah, Georgia, where we just got some touch of the big hurricane. It came near us. We didn't get the brunt of it by any stretch. There was no real damage done, no real sustained damage done in any significant way. But there were some fallen trees, a lot of fallen branches, a lot of debris in the roads, and the power lines got knocked out all across the city. And so for days, the whole city was without power for a day or so. I think just about everybody had no power, except except businesses that had generators, like the Oglethorpe Mall, for example. But you had the gym that I go to, the YMCA that I go to, was out of business for 3 days because they didn't have power. And restaurants didn't have power, and lots of local businesses must have lost a lot of money. And it seemed like it happened, and everybody was ill prepared, or somebody was ill prepared. It caught the authorities, the Georgia Power people, the people whose job it is to maintain the power grid. It caught them flat-footed. It seems to me, and eventually we got power back, but it just seemed like it took way too long. Of course, during that time period, I was mostly unaware of all the damage that had been done to my north, to our north, most particularly in North Carolina, Western North Carolina, and Eastern Tennessee, it seems, in the mountains, in the Appalachians. And I'm only now, over the last few days, becoming aware of just that the terrible situation that they all have to deal with in those parts. Unprecedented disaster and tragedy on a level that's there are devastating storms every year. It happens every year. There are always hurricanes. They always do damage, but this one was unusual. This one, and again, I'm not fit to comment on whether there could have been there could have been some man-made component to this this weather system shaping up the way that it did. But I'm not in a mode right now where I'm going to be dismissive of anybody who would say such a thing or speculate about such a thing. Because I distrust the powers that be so much right now. And I am far from alone in that regard. I am far from alone in that respect. And it's we've been lied to about many things for a long period of time. And to some extent, we've always been lied to, right? That's what you realize at some point, if you're a mature thinker, and you reflect on what you're told, what the official story is, what you're taught in school, and what they tell you on the news, and what the reality is. Eventually, at some point, you realize that there's some intentional deception going on. The Mockingbird media, for those in the know. For those not in the know, look up Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird. That's just a part of it. Anyway, it keeps getting worse. The distrust that we have keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and they keep trying to tell us that no, we're wrong. And it's called gaslighting. I don't like to use the word gaslighting. I've said this before many times. It seems like a word that's too emotionally loaded. But there is something, just where they say, "Oh no, that's not happening. That's not happening." When damn well, yes, that is happening, and worse than that is happening. So the response to this storm has been abysmal. But has it been just par for the course? Is it just, you're not going to get any argument for me if you're going to say, this isn't just incompetence, this isn't just, unpreparedness, this is malevolence, Whether or not the storm was intentionally, whether there was some aspect of the storm, because of all the anomalous aspects of it, because it was a hurricane that ended up affecting the mountains, the mountain regions, which never happens or rarely happens. The strange course that the hurricane took. Whether or not, I'll concede, though, just for the sake of argument, I'll concede that it might have just been nature with no malevolent, functionality attached to nature. Even though we know that they can control the weather in some ways. It's not It's not crazy talk. It's not tinfoil hat conspiracy talk. It's real. And it's so exhausting when they try to just keep telling you that you're wrong and that you're stupid and and you're a liar and you're a purveyor of misinformation. And it's so dishonest. I mean, I think some people actually believe it. They're they're the actual misinformed ones. They believe their propaganda, but I mean, I don't know what your excuse is for believing, unless you're retarded. If you're just not very smart, then maybe you've got an excuse. But if you have just average brains, it seems like you should smell a rat, and you shouldn't just be simping for the authorities. You shouldn't just be coming on and, as they say, clapping back. I hate that term, clapping back. You shouldn't be clapping back, getting on social media sites and clapping back at conspiracy theorists. Of course, some of those comments might be from bots, and some of them might be, actual actual propagandists or people who are getting who have been commissioned to clap back against conspiracy theorists, by the authorities. But I think some of them probably just are actual brainwashed, propagandized people. So anyway, I didn't see this coming. Nobody saw this coming. And now the level of anger and the level of resentment and the level of distrust has grown, has ramified. And people are pissed off, people are upset, people are mad, and they should be. And the authorities ultimately don't care. It's like, fuck you. Here's $750. Fuck you. You lost your home. Yeah, we really feel sorry for you, you stupid hillbilly. Tell you what, here's $750. FEMA's going to give you $750. Congratulations, you're a 100-aire. You don't have your house anymore. And your town is damaged and you've been uprooted and maybe you've lost loved ones, but here's $750 for you. While we give X number of funds to Israel and X number of funds to Ukraine and X number of funds to illegal immigrants. You actual American citizens who are victims of this vicious storm. Here's $750 for you. That's basically saying fuck you. They hate us. They want us dead. And I don't know, that might seem like an incendiary thing to say, but I don't care. It's the logical conclusion. They want us dead. So, this isn't going to get this isn't going to get worked out. I mean, this isn't going to get there's not going to be a negotiated agreement, when it becomes more and more clear that the people in charge hate you and want you dead, you don't negotiate with people like that. Like the old saw of not negotiating with terrorists. Well, these are who's a bigger terrorist than people with immense amounts of power who want you dead? Who's a bigger terrorist than that? Why would you negotiate with people like that, who have such contempt for you that they're going to give you they announce, oh, here's $750 for you. You don't have to thank me. It's because we love you so much that we're giving you this little scrap, just this pittance. That's almost more contemptuous than them not giving anything out at all. That's nothing. So I don't know. I mean, like, you might just maybe call me a keyboard warrior, or whatever contemptuous phrase that you want. I'm not, I'm not encouraging violence. I don't want violence, but I do know that it becomes increasingly clear that we're ruled by people who hate us and want us dead. What do you do in that kind of situation? What you gonna do when they come for you, right? Like the song goes. They haven't come for me specifically. I'm someone who has pretty fortunate circumstances. But I'm if I'm just some poor hillbilly, who's white, piling one crime after another, being poor white trash. Boy, they hate them. I'm not saying that they don't hate other types of people too. But, man, it's, so things aren't, I don't have much faith that things are going to be resolved. This election's not going to resolve anything. It's not going to resolve anything. Elections are shams, they're scams, they're frauds. Vote if you want. I'm not telling you not to vote. But just don't expect, the regime doesn't change really based on who the elected leaders are. So whoever wins, we lose. Unless the actual leadership, I'll call them the rulership, the actual rulership, because that's more accurate. They think of themselves as our elected leaders, but they're mostly unelected, and they're not leaders, they're rulers, and they're illegitimate rulers, but they rule by force, by fraud. They rule because, they have access to power, which they've obtained in various, sometimes arcane ways. There's no resolution to any of this. It's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And when will it be over? I've got 2 kids. I don't want to live in a nation I don't want a civil war. Okay? I'm not hoping for a civil war to break out. But I also know that what we've got right now is simply intolerable. It's intolerable. So don't reply to this if you're again. I know I've got some of you might roll your eyes at this, but I don't want to hear black-pilled comments. I don't want to hear nothing's ever going to change ever. I just like shut the hell up. Shut up. I don't need to hear that. Nobody needs to hear that. Make an observation if you want, but don't just come on and say and just be indulgently black-pilled and talk about how we're cooked. That's what you young people say now. We're cooked forever. There's no way out. They have the power and they're going to kill us. Shut up. Fuck you. Fuck you. I didn't know I was going to get so worked up here. Just anticipating these kinds of comments gets me worked up. It's like the last thing we need to hear right now. So kindly refrain if that's what you're gonna if that's your inclination. Kindly refrain. Just keep it to yourself. But if you're not going to be black-pilled, as long as you're not going to be black-pilled, and that doesn't mean you have to be. Do I sound hopeful right now? No, but I'm not black-pilled. I just don't see. I see we're headed for a train wreck, and I don't see. I hope there's a means of yanking the emergency brake, but I don't know. I don't think the e-brake is working. I don't think it's operational. So there you go. And I'll end it there.